Hey, beautiful soul. Let's talk about riding the waves of expansion and contraction, right? There's been a lot of that lately. It's so important for each one of us to honor where we're at, right? And what I've really learned on a whole new level recently and realized is that the deeper we go within ourselves into the abyss, the higher we can also go within ourselves, right? So if we want to experience the heavenly realms, the pure peace, the pure love, the pure bliss, the just the beauty of it all, right? Connected to everyone and everything, we have to be willing to do the deep inner work. We have to be willing to see what we weren't able to see before. We have to be willing to see the ugly, to feel the ugly within us, and to move through it, right? To allow ourselves to feel the depth of emotions that are still trapped or stuck in our bodies. We have to allow ourselves to sit with and be with those emotions, however uncomfortable they may feel, right? Even if they feel super overwhelming and you want to like run and hide and not see them or not deal with them or not feel them. It's so important for us to break that habit of trying to quote unquote protect ourselves, right? Which is our ego's way of protecting ourselves and keeping us separate from pure source consciousness light. So if we feel like we need to protect ourselves, that's our indication that that's our ego aspect, right? And that it's safe to sit and feel and be with our emotions. It's safe to feel it all and to allow that overwhelm in our bodies, right? Because when we feel like we need to protect, or when we fear, or when we push things away, it creates more separation, and we're actually giving our power away to the fear, right? Or to the overwhelm, or to whatever we're perceiving is a threat. Yet when we actually sit with our emotions and feel them fully and allow them to be expressed however they want to move and express themselves through us, the power that the fear of the power, the hold that they had on us dissipates, and it's no longer overwhelming, or we feel like we have to protect ourselves. It actually feels relieving to feel, take sadness for an example, right? When we go all into sadness or grief, and we allow ourselves to feel that fully and to cry, and even if we give ourselves like a few moments of feeling like a victim and woe is me and giving our power away, it's important to dive deep into that and to feel that, so that that emotion can clear, right? And when we feel it fully, it can clear and it can leave our bodies, right? We don't need to hold on to it anymore, because we're not judging it or pushing it away or making it wrong or bad, right? We're accepting it, we're loving it, we're nurturing it, and we're giving it a voice, we're giving it an expression through us, right? And the hold that it used to have on us no longer does, because we've been with it, we've loved it, we've nurtured it, we've allowed it to be. And emotions are just energy, right? Sadness is just an energy. And when we allow that energy to move through us, it allows, it creates more space in our bodies for more light to come through, right? And as more light comes through, our body's vibration raises, and our heart opens again, right? And then we experience the pure peace inside again, and the pure beauty, and the pure love, and the pure light, and the bliss, and the magic, and just the beautiful energies. And so this process is about navigating it all. It's about riding the waves of expansion and contraction. It's about allowing any emotions to arise within us and moving through them, not staying stuck in them, and not giving our power to them because they're too much or too overwhelming. It's taking our power back, learning how to reparent ourselves and teaching ourselves that it's safe to feel. It's safe to feel any emotion, whether it's sadness or grief or anger or frustration or overwhelm, or whatever it may be. It's just an emotion, it's just energy. And the faster we can move through them, right? Not to hurry the process, but the more we sit with them, the more we allow them to be, the more we give them an outlet of expression, the easier it is to move through them as energy, and they no longer have a hold or a power over us. Rather, we can move through it with a bit more ease and grace as a higher self aspect. We can observe the energy of sadness moving through our bodies. We can, cry for a moment and let it move through without actually becoming it. Right. And that takes time, that takes mastery. In the beginning process, we have to really go all into it, and we have to sort of become that sadness, that emotion, and really give it our all and go into it, so that we can move through it. But the more we do that, the more we learn how to master our emotions. And it's not about mastering energy, right? And so the more we do that, the easier it is to honor whatever arises as it arises, and not allow it to affect or impact, our other areas of our life. And so I know we started sort of with expansion and contraction, and this kind of moved into emotions as well. It's all part of the process, right? So when we look at the contracted state, that's when, our heart closes and emotions arise, and we feel like all this pressure inside of us, and our head might start going, crazy, and our ego might try to come in and try to trick us, right? Our ego sort of talks to us the way that you would never want to talk to a child. It's not nice things. It's not supportive or uplifting or inspiring things. It's generally things that, put us down or make us, not feel good about ourselves, right? A lot of it's about self-worth and self-value and self-love. And so the contracted state is showing us all of the separation that still exists within our bodies that gets to be cleared, so that as we clear it, right, as we do the deep inner work, as we clear the emotions, as we clear the programs, the more we do that, the more density leaves our body, and the more light can fill our light bodies. And then we can experience more light, right? That's when we can expand, right? When we no longer feel sort of tethered to 3D reality, we expand out, we expand our consciousness out, and we feel pure peace and pure bliss and pure magic and pure beauty and pure love, right? And it's a process. We expand up into the heavenly realms, and we float and we fly, and we don't have a care in the world, and nothing else exists. Nothing else matters but this feeling of just floating in the heavens, right? And when we experience this beautiful expansion state of consciousness, we sit in them and we bathe in them, right? I call it sort of bathing in the light. We allow this to activate our cells in our DNA, to allow ourselves to experience higher levels of consciousness, right? And the more we're in those higher levels of consciousness, the more we acclimate to that, and we feel that with every cell and fiber of our being. And when we sort of come back down from the heavens and into the physical body and anchor into the physical, it can feel a bit jolting, jarring, discombobulating, because we're literally moving from the higher realms back into the dimension that our body exists in. And that's where the real work begins. That's where the deep inner work is. That's where we have to clear everything that's not aligned with pure divine love, right? With floating in the heavens. So anything that comes up it's coming up to be cleared, to be seen, to be felt, to be experienced, to be expressed, to move through. And that's where we get the work done to accomplish all that we see, all that we feel, to align and realign our physical realities so that it matches the vibrational frequency that we expanded into and we activated inside of us. And so nothing is wrong. We didn't go backwards. We can't mess this process up. It's a journey. And sometimes, it's all a bit all over the place. But remember that, each now moment, the more in tune you are with what's going on inside of you in your inner world, the easier it is to feel and to navigate through whatever's going on. So as you experience new awarenesses, new experiences, new expansions, new or deeper levels of programs, the more deeply connected you are inside, the more you're honoring and listening your higher self aspects fully and instantly, the easier all can be. And so it always comes back to our deep inner connection inside. It's strengthening our deep inner connection, our inner knowing inside, and trusting that our higher self knows what it's doing, even if our human aspect doesn't. And then it's our responsibility, it's our job to listen and honor our higher self aspects fully, to listen to its guidance, to become it, and to not go back and play in the old anymore, to not allow that ego to come back in and give our power away to our ego, right? When we look at reclaiming our power starts with ourselves first. It starts with reclaiming our power as a higher self aspect over our ego, right? And when we can do that within ourselves, then we can hold our power, right? And stabilize our power inside as we move through the world. And everything that's not okay, we can bring and pull our power forth and realign everything in our physical. So play with that. Focus on your inner world. Be fully present in every now moment, no matter where you are on your journey, on riding the waves of expansion and contraction. And play with it all. Be with it all. See it all. And love it all. Have fun.